Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the Q2 FY24 result conference call of Eco Recycling Limited hosted by Kirin Advisors. Please note that the call will be there for 60 minutes. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that the conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Ms. Chandni Chande, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining conference call of Eco Recycling Limited. I would like to welcome Mr. B.K. Soni, Chairman and Managing Director. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Chandni. Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is B.K. Soni here, Chairman and Managing Director of Eco Recycling Limited. And I'm really happy to get connected with all of you on occasion of the Q2 results just yesterday only announced. It's an immense pleasure to welcome you all to the Q2 FY24 conference call to discuss the performance for the Q2 of financial year 24. I'm joined on this call by our Manager Finance and Chartered Accountant, Mr. Vivek Tiwari. Before I delve into the financial performance, I would like to tell you about the immense potential what e-waste recycling industry is consisting of and our initiative towards a circular economy. According to one of the reports presented by the Data Bridge Market Research team, e-waste market is expected to reach to the tune of about $167 billion by 2030, its global number, which is close to about $63.7 billion worth of material consisting of, and having a CAGR of 12.8% during the period of the forecast, what we are talking about. Presently, India generates close to 3.2 million metric ton of e-waste annually, and it has a tendency of 27% CAGR. In terms of value, it's as high as about $4 billion, or close to about 34,000 crores billion industry in India. And in the next 4 years, going forward, it may touch to $10 billion, close to about 83 to 85,000 crore worth of e-waste generation in India. When I'm talking about the value, I'm talking about the realizable value out of the metals, plastic and glass, what an electronic waste or electrical and electronic waste is consisting of. Electronics are consisting of everything and anything what you use as mobile phone or laptop or desktop or washing machine, fridges and everything. It also consists of the complex material like batteries, plastics, glass, ferrous, non-ferrous metals and hazardous substances. This material must be processed carefully to avoid releasing harmful chemicals into the environment. Cost and absence of regulations contribute to the mishandling of e-waste, which is really a little bit an unfortunate part that today it is being mostly handled by the informal sector because of the low cost, but they don't care of the regulatory requirement which relates to environment and ecology. It's cheaper to export e-waste than to build and develop local infrastructure for recycling, and that is where Eco Recycling stepped in 19 years before, and we started the first e-waste recycling company in 2005. Earlier, the entire e-waste was being collected and dismantled by the informal sector only. But when we entered the market in 2005, we started reaching out to large corporates who really cares for environment, ecology and circular economy. And of course, social and social canvas also being taken care of by them. So we approached the large corporates and introduced the scientific way of handling e-waste. Every single company, whenever I met during 2005, 6, 7, 8, those period was the beginning years of the company. Each and every company obliged us and handed over their electronic waste for recycling in a formal manner. So the awareness was there among them because of the multinational presentation of them. They are present globally in various markets. So they understand what are the socio-environmental impact of not handling the electronic waste in a right manner, and therefore they supported our initiative and obliged us by giving their businesses. Government regulations are gradually introduced, and the quantitative targets for producers to take back end-of-life equipment from the consumer and get them recycled, globally known as the principle of extended producer's responsibility, which is a producer's extended responsibility in terms of that the producer has to take back your old electronic and electrical device as and when you want to discard it for getting it recycled and you don't want to use it any longer. Simply you have to call the producer of the respective item and ask them to collect it from your door. Maybe home, maybe office, maybe shop, maybe college, any place where you are using it. And they are bound by the responsibility under the rules to come to your home or office and collect it and give it to the recycler for recycling. Because of this, the demand for e-waste management is increasing and pressure on the companies to demonstrate their commitment to sustainability is also mounting, and circular economy and sustainability has become one and the most important requirement of the time today. IPO Recycling Limited, an innovator in the e-waste management segment in the country, has been admired by none other than our Prime Minister Shri Narendra Ji Modi in his Mann Ki Baat in January 23, when he talked about EcoReco and its model of collection through mobile application, and EcoReco's contribution in circular economy was admired by him in his own words. We have also innovated a model of collection, shredding and data destruction on wheels and has been named as Recycling on Wheels, Smart ER, Smart Electronic Recycling. This unique model will immensely help formalize the e-waste recycling segment very rapidly, and we are extremely positive that transformation from informal to formal sector is possible when we provide a better method of collection and treatment to the informal sector who doesn't have an access to the technology to that extent, and therefore this recycling on wheels smarter has been introduced by EcoReco. And you will be happy to notice that this particular innovation has been inaugurated by none other than Dr. Jitendra Singh, the central government minister for the technology development, and on 2nd of October 23 only in New Delhi. So it has been flagged off by him. It was a great and proud moment for us, for EcoReco. This particular solution has also been recommended by the principal scientific advisor and has been approved. Financial support has also been approved by the Technology Development Board to promote this as a first round of funding for this particular innovation. I'll now take you through the company's financial performance during Q2 for the year 24. And before I run through that, I'm sure you would have an opportunity to go through the numbers, like in case of the Q1 of 24, Q2 of 24 is also before you, which has shown a very, very robust performance in terms of growth of revenue, margin, and net profit growth. The revenue for Q2 FY24 splendidly grown up by 75.3% on year-on-year basis. And we have touched a year-on-year 10.08 crore, while EBITDA was almost doubled to 7.25 crore, resulting in 726 basis points jump in EBITDA margin. We always believed in asset-light model and strict control on overheads, which has really helped us to achieve massive growth for the reported quarter. I am happy to share that our net profit grew by 78% on year-on-year basis to 6.12 crore, with net profit margin of 61%, close to about 61%. This impressive growth is an indicator of growing awareness for e-waste recycling and our initiative to assist corporates in e-waste management. We take up the responsibility of e-waste recycling in an effort to conserve resources which are otherwise depleting natural resources and redeploy the recovered commodities back into the managed stream of industries for sustainable economy and circular economy support of this for what Government of India envisaged to achieve. I thank you all, my shareholders, my stakeholders, for having faith in the company, our initiatives, and I'm confident that our business model in raising awareness for e-waste recycling, EcoReco would be able to bring substantial growth for its shareholders in the time to come. With this brief introduction, now I'm happy to take questions from all of you. Thank you so much for giving me a patient hearing, and you may probably raise your question if you have anything to ask me. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We'll now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handset while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Gunit Singh from CCIPL. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. What is the outlook for FY24 in terms of top line and bottom line? And I mean, what kind of growth are we looking at for FY25? And what would be the key drivers for growth in FY25?
Okay, so as far as the projections are concerned for March 24 and 25, what your question is, and what are the contributing factors, am I right?
That's right.
Correct. So as you must have noted, this industry has a very growth-oriented industry with a kind of CAGR of 27%. We also believe that we will really achieve more than that. So as far as the CAGR is concerned, of 27% is the bottom line, but our company is putting its best efforts to achieve far higher than that. So I'm very confident by March 24, you will have a very pleasant numbers in terms of the growth percentage as against the CAGR. And as far as the contributing reasons are concerned, similar pattern I can very safely say about March 25. And the second reason in March 25 would be higher contribution of extended producer's responsibility business, which is growing. And I'm pleased to share that our company has very recently signed with 5 more producers for the EPR obligation to be achieved for them. So the numbers are growing, and we are supporting to more and more producers, and we hope to achieve these numbers very safely. Secondly, in case of March 25 particularly, EPR again will be very broadly contributing to the business over and above the collection of electronic waste from the individual houses as well as the corporate businesses, which we are strengthening our reverse logistic network very aggressively. So this will be the 2 contributing factors in our growth, more than 27% of CAGR. Thank you.
Sir, will we be able to maintain the 30% operating margins? And can you also throw some light on the other income components? I mean, are these exceptional items or are these recurring? Should we expect these the other income to continue in the same way going forward? Can you please throw some light on that?
Great. So as far as the margin is concerned, you must have noted in last 2-3 quarters that we are working on those kind of margin only, because the choice of client is always who understands the compliance more than the formality, So they are happy to pay us the price or the charges according to our requirement. So I'm very positive, very confident. We will certainly maintain the margins. and maybe more than 30% when the EPR fees will also get added to this totally. So the margin will certainly go up only, will not fall down, and that is the quality we are maintaining for providing this kind of services at a fee. Secondly, in case of other income, obviously it is giving us a very good cushion in terms of the excess liquidity, whatever the company has been invested very effectively and is giving good results. But as we grow and as we keep investing in our project, the liquid assets will be diluted further, liquid assets will be disposed of in the market, and the growth from the business will be higher than the other income, what we are achieving right now. Thank you.
Great, sir. Sir, and could we expect this 7 crore quarterly run rate to continue? I mean, can we expect this as a new base going forward and to only do better than the 7 crore for any given quarters in the coming time? And also, we achieved a top line of 37 crores in FY 2016. So, 37 crores revenue. So, when do we, plan to grow those revenues?
So you are saying that what we achieved of 37 crores in 2016, when we see that kind of number again in the future, am I right?
Correct that, and the 7 crore revenue that we see in Q2, can we expect this to be the new base going forward? So that, the revenue for any given quarter going forward should be better, at least 7 crores or better than that. Can that be a fair assumption?
It is very much likely. There is absolutely no downward. You can safely say that. And as far as the growth is concerned, let me put the one number before you. We are presently using only 30% capacity at this point of time. Now, with the growth and the requirement of the extended business responsibility business, we are very positive that we will achieve more than 60 to 70% capacity utilization before March 24 itself. So the number you can very well broadly work out is against 7 crore and is against 37 crore, where the total number will be there for the whole year, and quarter to quarter number is against 7 crore per quarter.
Got it. So 7 crore is our 30% utilization, you're saying?
Yes.
All right. Got it. And we should expect 60% utilization before the end of FY24. So
yes.
Is it fair to assume that Q3 onwards, our utilization would be around 60%?
Yes, we are seeing that in the first month itself of October, and we are very positive we will achieve that.
All right. That's great. Thank you very much, and I wish you all the best.
So nice. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to ensure that the management is able to address questions from all the participants in the conference, please limit your question to 2 per participant. Should you have a follow-up question, we will request you to rejoin the queue. The next question is from the line of Mudit Chopra from Wise Capital. Please go ahead.
Sir, first of all, congratulations for the good set of numbers. Sir, as per my opinion, is the game changer is the extended producer responsibility. So my question is, what is the status of government portal where producer and recycler needs to upload their e-waste recycling data? So the EPR can be very fruitful this time, and will guide from a non-organized sector to organized sector for recycling.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mudit. Let me put 3 points before you. Point number 1, as far as the portal is concerned, government has already put in place, and we all have been given a task to punch in the numbers so that we can check the effectiveness and there is no further flaw in that. So bugs can be removed and software should run very effectively, and the deadline set by the government is 1st November 23 itself. So by 31st October, everything will be up and running. We have started punching in the numbers. It is not stopping the business whether the portal is working or not. Whatever business we have done in last 7 months till October, from 1st April, those all will get punched, and the certificates will be generated for the EPR out of that business. So it will give a good amount of revenue from the EPR business itself. So in terms of the portal is ready or not, doesn't make any difference to the business at this point of time. Cumulative business will be considered in that.
Okay,
And
sir.
secondly, obviously, you mentioned it very nicely and rightly about EPR business will be a growth engine. Yes, certainly, because that will be the driving force for the producer to reach out to every consumer, whether individual or corporate, and see that it gets collected and delivered to the recycler to meet the obligation of the producer. And hence, the informal sector will gradually, the business of informal sector will reduce and formal business will keep on increasing. What was the third part of your question?
Sir, that certificates will be sellable in the market, and what will be the revenue from that certificates? Can you just quantify that?
Great. So the certificate is completely a commercial instrument and it's a marketable instrument. As simple as that. So yes, it is a tradable and it will be traded on the portal of the Central Pollution Control Board. So once we generate the EPR credits, based on that the certificate will get generated and it will be sold to the best buyer. That's one. Secondly, I'm sorry, what was your second part of the question?
So can you quantify that amount,
Yeah.
what we can get from that certificate?
So yes, you are absolutely right. So second part is really debatable and it is based on two major factors. One is which item you are working on. Suppose if somebody, all of the persons, all the recyclers are working only for the freezers and washing machines, then the quantum of supply may be much more and competition will be higher. Ecorico always selects those areas of activities which are exclusive, and our margin and our EPR fees will be different and higher than the average market price. But at this point of time, to quote what price it would be, let the portal be up and running and let's see it till December how the transactions are happening. But I am very confident we will have an edge above other competitors.
And sir, as you said that you have added 5 more producers into your bucket, is there any more inquiries coming to you? Because as you said that the utilization will be higher.
You are absolutely right. Not only to Ecorico, but every recycler is getting inquiry from the producer because producer's obligation is very high. See, today the installed capacity in the country is not more than 500,000 metric ton of the renowned recyclers. I'm not talking about the overall capacity registered by the CPCB of 1.5 million metric ton. I'm talking about the renowned recyclers are 500,000 metric ton. That too is a higher number I'm talking about. While obligation of the producer is 50% of 3.2 million metric ton, which is 1.6 million metric ton overall. So we just have only one-third capacity installed at this point of time in India. We need 1 more million metric ton capacity to get installed. And therefore we will all get flooded with the orders from the producers to come in.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Kaushik Mohan from Ashika Institutional Equities. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Congratulations for the numbers, good set of numbers. You told that currently you're running at 30% capacity and with 30% the revenue is 7 crores. Is my understanding right?
You're right.
So in the full capacity, that means that we will be more than 7 into 3. That comes to 21 or 25 crores almost. Am I right with this also?
You are absolutely right.
Okay.
That is on quarter-to-quarter basis. That's on quarter-to-quarter.
Got it. That means that, sir, how much are we for the next year growth? So we are sorted for this year, I understand that. But how about the coming next other years? Are we not looking like an underutilized by putting around the 37 crores in the assets? We are only generating highest number is 25. Doesn't look like an different math.
No, I believe there is some miscalculation. When it is quarterly 7 crores and 30% utilization, And according to your own number, if 100% capacity utilization is there, it is 21 crore, correct?
25 crore.
25 crore. So 25 crore per quarter means we are talking about 100 crore top line.
You're telling per quarter. This is for the quarter. Okay.
Yeah, this is
I got that. It's like we can think of 100 crore as an total whole year with 37 crores of our.
Absolutely. And as I mentioned earlier, that 130 to 140 rupees a kg is the realization. When you multiply with 7,200 metric ton, it comes to close to about 100 crore kind of top line. So
got it.
we are positive about going towards that.
Okay. Sir, this year, so what number are we expecting overall? Any guidance that you have given or is planning to give any guidance?
So as I mentioned earlier, that CAGR of this industry is 27%. 27% is the CAGR in the industry at this point of time. And with the efforts Ecorico kind of putting in and the kind of clientele who are joining us, we hope to achieve far higher than 27% CAGR, which is applicable to the industry in general. So
27% comes on the full year numbers of 18 crores that was March 2023.
No, I'm talking about CAGR of 27% applicable to the industry. Our growth, what we assume that probably 60 to 70% we are very safe to achieve by March 24. And if the orders, what we anticipate may further go up, we don't know that we may probably achieve 100% capacity utilization. But I do not want to be so optimistic at this point of time till we really things are there not in hands.
Got it. Sir, and will we maintain our margins at the same level going further also?
That is exactly what Ecorico follows the principle of, that best possible compliance is the need of the producer, not the formality for them. So if I don't do their compliances absolutely as per their standards, they are global players, they are global producers, they know how does it happen in UK, USA and Japan. And if they expect the similar thing from Ecorico, I am bound by their responsibility and bound by their requirement. So I am a service provider and therefore we provide the service as their standard. First and foremost is that our criteria. And second for that, they are willing to pay a good price and we are enjoying that.
Got it. That's sounding very sweet for me. And so my other question is on what can be our expected or the optimum numbers for next year. That's FY25 numbers.
So I told you earlier about we are setting up another capacity of 18,000 metric ton in 2024.
So what will be the cost of that?
Sorry?
What will be the cost of that?
The cost of that is close to about 45 crore and we have already put in about 30 crore in the business in that particular capacity building, and another 10 to 15 crore will be invested by March 24. So that facility will also be up and running probably from January itself. Even we are trying for December itself. So that will be up and running, and capacity utilization of 18,000 metric ton plus 7,200 metric ton, 25,200 metric ton what we envisage. In 24-25 we should put our best effort to at least achieve 60% and 100% in the next year.
Okay. This is a really good number. Don't we have any competitor in India who will come and give big competition to us?
Yeah, there are competitors and more are expected in the field. So, but the market size is, it's more than 4 million metric ton, as I mentioned earlier. And we just have the capacity of 25,000 metric ton, which is 0.6%, not even 1%. 0.6% is the only capacity what we have. So you have a scope for 150 more Eco Recycling Limited to be in the market. So need not to worry from the competition point of view. Our focus is not the volume, our focus is the service at a price of our choice.
Got it. Sir, and
sorry for the interruption, Mr. Kaushik sir. May we request you? Okay. Thank you. The next question is from the line of Upendra from Stockstar Consultancy. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hi. Very congratulations on the brilliant numbers that you posted. The first question is, what is the organized and unorganized market share as of now?
Thank you, Mr. Open. The market size presently, is about 4 million metric ton, as I stated earlier, out of which the government is targeting 50% only. Okay, that is 2 million metric ton from the producer's obligation or extended producer's responsibility. 50% for this year and 60% for 24-25. And in 24-25, the number of 4 million will become 5 million kind of. So even the government is targeting only 3 million metric ton out of 5 million metric ton for the formal recyclers. And therefore, the remaining 40 to 50% will continue to remain with the informal sector. When we calculate our capacity utilization or our market reach, we do not go by the overall number of the generation of the e-waste. We go what is available for the formal market. So in that sense, if you look at this number of 50% is 2 million to 3 million metric ton is a high number.
So I have understood that, but I want to know what is the revenue sharing between the formal and informal sector as of now?
Same. It's a 50-50. It's a kind of 50-50. Okay. 50% when the government itself has kept it aside, that 50% goes to informal sector. And reason being, so individual houses, to cater them at a cost-effective collection is little tougher for the formal sector. And therefore, the focus remains the corporate. Obviously, we do serve to the individuals. We never hesitate, never refuse. But at the same time, the cost of collection of a formal recycler is higher. And government do understand that because the informal sector only can reach to every nook and corner, every gully and every mohalla and every house. And therefore, their share will continue to remain like that.
The next question is, you had told your current capacity is around 7,000 metric tons and you are increasing it by another 14,000 metric tons. Is that correct, what I heard?
No, 18,000 metric tons we are increasing to. As against a present of 7,200, the overall capacity will be 25,200 metric tons.
So on the 25,000 metric tons, you will be able to do a 60% to 70% utilization by FY25.
You are absolutely right.
Okay. And thirdly, I wanted to know, how do we make our revenues? If I just wanted to understand that, on what basis are revenues made?
So, the major production from the finished goods at our end are metals, plastic, glass, and refurbished equipment, which are being reused or resold in the market. These are the four major commodities what we generate. Over and above that, we have a data destruction services, lamp recycling services. These are the fee-based business, which goes directly to the revenue. So revenue is consisting of the fees and the sale of material.
Okay. And the last question is, can you name a few of your competitors, your major competitors, if possible?
No, certainly, if it's possible, we know them each other very much to all of them, rather major players who are there. But I will certainly request you to kindly have a look at the list on the CPCB website, so you will get a good idea about who are the competitors.
Done. It should be good. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Deepak Poddar from Sapphire Capital. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir, for the opportunity and many congratulations for a good set of numbers.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Deepak. Go ahead.
Yeah. So just wanted to understand now in terms of overall volumes. I think the 30% utilization, so your volume on 7,200 metric ton would be about 540 metric ton, right?
It's close to about 2,000 metric tons for the whole year, 30% is 2,100. Yes, your number is correct, 540 per quarter.
For this quarter.
You are right.
So, and you expect this to go up to what, 60-70% by fourth quarter. So ideally we are targeting maybe 1,250 kind of a volume maybe by fourth quarter, right?
You are right.
Mhm. And next year, as you mentioned, I mean, on an expanded base of 25,200 metric tons, if we can do 60% capacity utilization, so our volume will be close to about 15,000, I mean,
You are
tons.
absolutely right. You are absolutely right.
So that is what we might be targeting, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And this you mentioned on the EPR fees as well, right? Now this irrespective of portal, you mentioned that it will be on a cumulative basis, right? Cumulative
Correct.
basis. So just can you throw some light that by when we can start seeing our revenue in our P&L from this EPR thing?
This quarter itself. I mean the quarter of third quarter onwards itself.
Third quarter onwards, right?
Correct.
Okay. And what would be the quantum? Huh?
Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, and what would be the quantum of this EPR fees? So can you throw some light on the mechanics, like how much revenue can be expected from this particular segment on what sort of volume?
So, the government has prescribed certain formula of conversion of raw material into the finished goods.
Mm-hmm.
So my raw material is e-waste, like computers and mobile and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And finished goods is metal, plastic and glass and all.
Correct.
So some conversion factor has been provided by the government.
Mm-hmm.
Based on that conversion factor, once we will portray our number or jot down our number on the portal, then automatically the mechanism has been developed by the government, which will will let us know what is the EPR generation or the points have been generated by us. Okay? So assuming that I do a business of 1,000 metric ton and I recover all the metals and my points generated is of 800 metric ton.
Mm-hmm.
Just I'm giving a ballpark number to make my point clearer.
Mm-hmm.
Now 800 points or 800 metric ton worth of EPR certificate will be generated by Ecorico and will be available for any producers to take it at the best possible price from Ecorico. So this is how it will work out. So once we will complete our numbers on the portal, we will be able to predict or project what kind of EPR business will be there and at what price we are selling. These two things are market driven. Like in the stock market, it's also market driven kind of scenario. But we are hopeful that we will have a very handsome price because of our quality assurance in terms of the collection and the disposal.
Okay. But what is the general range for per metric ton or per kg, whatever the unit might be for two?
I believe we should wait for the third quarter to close. And then, because things are maturing and things are working out very well, so let's wait for another 2 months to see the color of the money, and then we will be able to give a better corrective results to you.
Fair enough. I got it. I understood. Yeah, I think that's it from my side, sir. All the very best. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Deepak.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Darshit Shah from Nirvana Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, sir. Thanks for the opportunity and congratulations, Soniji, for an amazing set of numbers.
Thank you so much, Mr. Darshit. Thank you so much.
Sir, I have one question on the lithium-ion battery recycling. I understand we have got a technology from CMET, and that's also a very upcoming opportunity where even globally, a lot of people are putting up capacities there. And even in India, I think there are a lot of companies who are putting capacities for lithium-ion battery recycling. So can you tell us more about that and what kind of capacity would we have in our new facility for that?
Darshit, thank you so much for this question, and you will be pleased to notice that we have already installed the machines for the crushing of the batteries, lithium-ion batteries, and converting these batteries into black mass. This we have test runs we have completed, and we have achieved the desired result. Now the stage 2 is to put up the the chemical recovery plant, which we hope by January it should be up and running. In next 2 months to 3 months time, this plant will also be up and running. So we will have the recovery of various metals, including cobalt and manganese, out of the lithium-ion batteries. So present capacity, what we have installed is only of 10 metric ton per day or 3,000 metric ton per annum. And as we grow, we will keep on installing the fresh lines for crushing the batteries. And as far as the chemical recovery is considered, is consisting of, we are setting above 12,000 metric ton in the beginning itself. So up to 4 times of crushing capacity will be there as and when required, and otherwise for the recovery of the cobalt and manganese, 12,000 metric ton. Your point is also equally valid that a lot of people are putting up the facility, but the generation of lithium-ion battery, which is there in every mobile phone and the laptop and many other devices, is also increasing, and a scattered facility will be there in the country, not a consolidated, not a centralized facility, because the logistic expenses and the hazards on the way are too high in case of batteries. So we are setting up only a very limited capacity, and we are confident to achieve that.
Correct, sir. Got it. Thank you. And sir, on the capex, what you said, probably 10 to 15 crore more we need to spend. So that includes this chemical recovery machinery and everything for the new facility.
You are absolutely right. That's it.
And so lastly, on you mentioned that we have signed 4 more producers for this EPR selling. So when we say we tied up, is this for a specific quantum or something, or whether we have the first exclusive rights to buy EPR from Ecorico? How does the mechanism work?
Okay, so they are not exclusive contracts and no producer, because their obligations are very, very high. Certain producers have an obligation of 100,000 metric tons, certain of 50,000. There are large producers, and they would never like to bank upon on one recycler. And also to allocate capacity to one particular recycler will be damaging from their business point of view. If the recycler fails to achieve, they will be failing before the government, So they never give an exclusive right until the quantity is very low. Suppose producer A has only 100 metric ton obligation. Then they may appoint Ecorico or any other recycler for the entire utilization. But large capacity, the large obligation, wherever it is, it's being allocated among the recyclers.
Got it. And sir, on the refurbishment segment, that's also, I think, one where we do a lot of refurbishing for electronics. Is that also a good opportunity going ahead?
It's always a very good opportunity. The reason being, refurbishment is an integral part of the recycling, first and foremost. These two words are closely connected. When we talk about recycling, we talk about the utilization of the basic commodities for manufacturing a new product. But the product which is already in existence and is functional, it itself is recycling, So no need to shred it down and remanufacture and then place it in the market at a high price. So it is always useful, and refurbishment is an integral part, as I mentioned, which is a good business opportunity, and yes, we are doing that.
Great, sir. Thank you so much, and all the best for the upcoming facility.
So nice of you. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ankur Gulati from Ikagai. Please go ahead.
Hello.
The current participant has left the queue. The next question is from the line of Parv from Niveshaay Investment Advisories. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Congrats on the good set of numbers. Sir, just wanted to understand on this EPR legal front, how the mechanism would work. So we are the recyclers, right? So these producers, they are required to provide us this materials, which we'll be recycling. And then what is the obligation on them to reuse these recycled material? What is the demand that we see on that front?
Great. It's a very interesting question. Let me just put a little longer answer before this.
Yes.
First and foremost, all electrical and electronic devices, if you look at, is consisting of maximum metals, Second is a plastic. And third is a glass. Correct? And these are all 3 different commodities are being used for thousands of products to manufacture. So it is not necessary that a laptop plastic should go for manufacturing laptop only. A desktop metal should go for desktop manufacturing only. These are all basic commodities which keep on going into the circular economy for any other product to get it developed. So there is no problem in terms of the utilization of the finished goods.
Okay, sir. And on the second part, I mean, is there any quantitative, are we looking at any particular figure of what demand side will look like due to this EPR?
So as I mentioned, when the government's target is 50% of what has been placed in the market by the producer. So suppose 3 million metric ton is the right number. So 1.5 million metric ton is the obligation on the producer. Correct? Now, 1.5 million metric ton itself is too humongous a number in terms of when you multiply with the value, it comes to about 21,000 crore rupees. Okay, 140, 150 kind of price if you allocate, it comes to more than 20,000 crore rupees. So it's a very large number, and we are hopeful that we will participate at least certain number of percentage in that.
Sir, I understand this, but this is the amount of material that we are getting to recycle, right?
Yes.
What will be the usage of this recycled material? Is there any metric on that part?
No, so that I covered in the first part of my question, that the metal, plastic and glass, which has been produced out of all the electrical and electronic devices, they are otherwise being used for various machinery, various other products to develop. So there is no problem in terms of the resale of the recovered commodities, and they are being resold. And it's all, metal prices or London Metal Exchange prices are applicable. They are all globally saleable very comfortably. There is absolutely no challenge.
Okay, sir. Thank you, and all the best for the upcoming quarters.
So nice. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Karthi from FY24 Advisors. Please go ahead.
Sir, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I hope I'm audible. Sure. So, a few questions, sir. This is my very first interaction, so excuse if these are basic questions. First one would be for either FY23 or for FY24, would you be able to spare the revenue mix in terms of the fees that you would be collecting, the recovery revenues and refurbishment revenues separately?
You want me to project them mention them separately?
Yes, please. The split of your revenues in these three buckets.
Okay. So recycling, refurbishment, and the EPR fees. That is what you are trying to do.
Exactly.
Correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So as far as the recycling and refurbishment, which is as of 30th September, for this up to the second quarter is maximum, is close to about 60-65% is coming in from the recycling, and balance is from the refurbished equipment. Of course, it's little bit of consisting of data destruction services also. So safely 60, 30 and 10%. You can say 60% from recycling, 30% from refurbishment, and 10% is the data destruction fees.
Oh, data destruction fees. Second thing is, technically what you are suggesting is that the inventory belongs to you, right? From an ownership point of view. Right? And therefore, when the producer or the manufacturer is appointing you as one of the collection agents, technically he's transferring the ownership of this. So do you have to pay anything to the consumer from whom we procure these, or is this at no cost?
In both the cases, I tell you there are three ways to collect the material from end consumer. One is that either the producer comes to you. Okay, let's consider yourself as a seller, as a corporate or individual level. When producer comes, then also you have a price to sell your item.
Okay.
When I come as a recycler, then also you have a price to sell.
Sure.
If an informal sector comes, then also you have a price to sell. Okay. So irrespective of the mechanism or the entity which is approaching to you to purchase, there is a price attached to every discarded item in our country, and which is a very fair requirement, fair expectation of a user. There is nothing wrong. Because we are otherwise making profit irrespective of payment to you. So I'm not trying to compare your method, India's method, with Japan or Singapore or Switzerland, where there is no money being paid. Because their cost of collection, transportation, processing is too high. Versus here, my consumer is asking me some payment out of that. That too is not out of my profit, but out of my total revenue,
Correct. Yes.
So then there is no hesitation. So price is an integral part of any material coming in from any source, individual, corporate, anywhere.
Right. Fair. That's very clear. The second thing is that you talked about having your own infrastructure for collection, which I'm assuming includes the vehicles also. So when you go from, say, current year numbers, which would be in the range of about 2,500, 3,000 tons, or maybe slightly more, to about 15,000 tons next year, what is the arrangement in place for the kind of collection infrastructure, and how many, shall we say, pin codes would you be covering in the process? I understand that this would be largely B2B, not B2C. So can you share some numbers on that?
Surely, why not? So let me tell you one, that as far as our own fleet of trucks is concerned, we don't increase in proportion to the quantity what we collect. What is that area we cater to from our own fleet of trucks is the kind of city of Mumbai and Pune and neighboring cities, So we don't drive down our vehicles to all the way to Mumbai to Chennai or Kolkata. We have 4 logistic partners, third-party logistic partners with us, and who goes on behalf of us. Our team member goes all the way from Mumbai to Chennai or Mumbai to Calcutta, get the material uploaded in the third-party logistic vehicles, and gets transported to our facility in a sealed container. Okay? Sure. And as far as the local collection and the nearby areas are collection is concerned, we use our own vehicle. If my volume in the nearby area will increase further, I will increase the fleet of trucks. But not in proportion to the overall size. Because overall it may be consisting of across nation from various pin codes,
Yes. So in terms of going from 4,000 to 15,000, are arrangements in place, and what is the kind of commitment you have from these partners?
So there is no problem to these partners because they are into the business of logistics only. They will be happy to accommodate me as much as I give business to them.
Sure. And last question, and then I'll join. Okay.
Mr. Kadir,
sure.
Can you?
Yeah, go ahead. Fair enough.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Suraj Nawandar from Prithvi Fine. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, Nawandar.
Yeah, hi, sir. Sir, my first question was on the products that we sell. After recycling, we sell metals, and the prices of the metals are usually very volatile. So, will it have any bearing on our revenue being very volatile and margins being volatile? How do we sell them, at what price?
So let me put a very practical point before you, Mr. Nawandar. One is that my present capacity utilization is, as I mentioned, is only 2,000 metric tons. Okay. And going forward, we are envisaging about 15,000 metric ton and further 25,000 metric ton. These numbers are not that high in proportion to the metal market that every fluctuation will be impacting me so badly or so heavily. Is a very nominal impact there. Secondly, when we purchase the material from the corporate, if there is a very heavy fluctuation, then obviously my price also accordingly changes to acquire. So it gets incorporated in my raw material automatically. So we need not to get it hedged, or we need not to worry about very high fluctuation. A minor fluctuation of 2, 3%, 4% is not changing my equation in terms of profitability.
Okay. And so the current quarter margins, are they sustainable, or do we expect any moderation in the margins?
No, we don't work on volume. We work on value basis, and that is what repeatedly Ecorico has always followed. That let us serve for the compliance of the corporate. Their social and environmental obligations are far higher than margin, and therefore they never hesitate to pay me my margin according to my choice.
So 60% that we have done this quarter is sustainable, that you are saying?
Yes, and that is what exactly we will certainly try to maintain as much as possible, barring abnormal circumstances, which I can't foresee, but I don't see much of challenge, and we have not seen that kind of challenge in the past.
Okay. And then what is the capex that we have done for lithium-ion recycling plant?
So overall, we are putting in about 45 crore rupees in the new facility of 18,000 metric ton, and which consisting of the e-waste as well as the lithium-ion batteries.
And sir, is that facility capable of recycling the car batteries as well? Because the laptop and the phone's batteries are very smaller in size. The car will have very larger sizes. So is it capable?
No, my present facility, what we are setting up, does not have that capacity. The machines required for shredding these large batteries is a very different kind of shredders are required, and we don't want to get into that business at this point of time. Till the battery supply is really very high. Till then, we would like to watch the market, how does it work.
And sir, last question. Now we have the lithium-ion battery recycling. So what we used to do earlier for so many years, what we used to do with the batteries?
So we used to accumulate and export it to Korea. Now we will be processing it in-house.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir, and all the best.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ankur Gulabi from Ikagai. Please go ahead.
Thanks. Sir, a quick question. Your cash flows, consolidated cash flows for first half, your trade payables are up by 9 crores. So how should we look at working capital? Is it because of material you have bought or what?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand your question. Can you just repeat?
For first half of financial year 24, your creditors are up by 9 crores.
Got it, sir. Thank you. Sorry for the misunderstanding. So that 9 crore is actually consisting of a payment was to be made for the premises, what we acquired for setting up the 18,000 metric ton facility now. So that was classified under the current liabilities as per the advice of the chartered accountant auditors. Otherwise, there is no trade payable of that magnitude. It's only 11 lakhs is that kind of amount against 9 and 11. Yeah.
And sir, similar next question, your first half has some 5.3 crores of profit on sale of investment.
Mm-hmm.
So if I remove that from your first half PAT, your first half PAT is 5.5 crores.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a fair summary?
It's not 5.5. You're talking about September 23 or it was September 22?
So September 23, first 6 months, your cash flows shows gain on sale of investment is 5.3 crores.
Just one second. Let me refer that number. No, it's 2.6. It's not 5.35. Where are you referring to? Can you just mention?
Page 10 of financial statements uploaded.
Financial statement of?
On exchange, stock exchange filing, there is page 10. I'm referring to consolidated cash flow statement.
Consolidated cash flow statement. Okay, got it. So that is 5.29, correct? You are referring to that number. Okay, so that includes correct. It is consisting of two elements. One is what has been realized, and second is what is the market price difference. That is the OCI is included in that. So if you look at the profitability, the earnings from investment as of 30th September was to the tune of 281 lakhs, and rest is an OCI item of 280 lakhs.
So your profit of first half of 10.8 crores consolidated. That includes 5.3 of profit on sale of investment. Is that correct?
One second. Yes. Is from the shares. Correct. And fair value gain. So actual realized value and the fair value put together is 5.5. You are right.
Okay. Understood. So steady state I should work with 5.5. That's all I want.
No. One second. My 10.83 crore is my profit before share profit.
Understood.
Okay. If you look at the item serial table, it is 10.83 and 2.80 is on account of OCI. It's a separate out of that. Whatever has been actual realized has been clubbed in 10.83. What is the OCI item or fair value is concerned is separate.
Understood. Understood. And sir, second question, out of 40 crores of CapEx, how much have we incurred so far?
Actually speaking, we will be investing 45 crore kind of scenario. 30 plus we have already done. And rest is there in the balance sheet of the company. So that money will be realized, liquidated and utilized.
And then when you're saying you're going to process lithium ion, I guess now the scale is big enough for you to do it. Earlier, because the scale was low, that's why you were exporting.
Both the points were there. That time we did not have an intention to process in-house, to be honest with you. And now the demand is increasing and the customer is asking that it has to be shredded within the premise when they give to us rather than sending it to abroad. And even the government of India wants that nothing should go outside the country. Whatever can be processed to the extent it is, it should be processed within the country to support the circular economy and sustainability of the production. So these are the contributing reasons. Earlier, such kind of compelling reasons were not there.
Perfect. So last question. When you're saying 120 rupees is your average realization, if you don't mind, can you give us, let's say if you're doing phones versus laptop?
Difficult, we have never worked out that way. And it is 140 to 150 rupees per kg average. And see, phones are consisting of 10 different varieties, right from the normal Chinese mobile phone to Apple and many other big brands. So everything is consisting of various permutation combination of material. So this will be a very, very high engineering required to analyze that way. We have not done that.
But if you do more phones, can you do more capacity than your labeled capacity?
No, in terms of the top line will be higher if I do more mobile, but in terms of the capacity utilization it will be lower. Because a mobile phone is 200 grams, while a laptop is a 5 kg and desktop is a 15 kg. So tonnage-wise it will be lower, but in terms of value, your point is extremely valid, it will be high.
So if you don't mind, these 4 or 5 new customers, any color, these are cell phone guys or these are laptop guys?
Mix.
Okay. Thanks a lot and all the best.
So nice of you. Thank you so much. Pleasure talking to you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Viraj Mahadevia from an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hi, Mr. Soni. Congratulations on the fantastic growth coming through.
Thank you, Mr. Viraj. Thank you so much for your compliments.
Sir, some housekeeping questions regarding the financials. I'm fairly familiar with the business model. The tax this quarter is only at about 11% on PBT. Can you comment a little bit on that and how you iron it out on an annual basis and why we are not doing it at sort of 25% odd tax every quarter for smoothing out?
No, we had worked out, Mr. Viraj, the overall liability in terms of the taxes. And one second, Mr. Vivek has a point to make. Yeah.
Hello?
Yes.
So let me answer this. But since the overall profit includes the fair value also, okay, which is with respect to the gain as per the market value as per on the reporting date, okay. So we've worked out the liability for the entire financial year, okay, and we are paying the tax on a quarterly basis.
Sorry, so you're saying that there's a gain from sale of investments which is separate, and there's the actual tax from operations based on which you have done this calculation and paid.
Exactly, sir.
Right? Okay.
And since we have already figured out our income tax, okay, which we are already doing in the past, okay, but since we have already worked out and all the tax liabilities as on date is being paid on time.
Do you have any net operating losses from prior years carried forward?
No, we don't have.
Okay. My second question, sir, Mr. Soni, is regarding the cash flows. In the investing, there's a sale of investments of 1,356 in the inflows. And there's an outflow of purchase of equity investments of 1,179. Can you explain to us what the two line items are and what's going on?
So whatever the investments were there in the balance sheet of the company has been sold out in the market of 1,356 lakhs. And what we have invested in the equity as well as in a subsidiary company put together, subsidiary is 4.5 crore? Yes. Yeah. So out of 11.79, about 4.5 crore we have invested in a subsidiary company, and remaining we have purchased from market. So it's purchase and sale, both have been separately shown. It's not net out. Otherwise, if you net out, it comes to less than 2 crores.
Right. So you're saying you've sold equity investments, which are the treasuries on your book, and you use that to invest in the subsidiary for the expansion.
You are absolutely right.
Okay. And what is our net debt now on the books, taking into account the remainder of treasuries and investments that sit on our book?
It's close to about 10 crore is still there. We are holding on this market value of close to 10 crore.
So it's 10 crore net cash you're saying today, because we have no debt.
We don't have any debt. We don't have
10 crores of net cash, zero debt, and 10 crores worth of investments still on the books.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Over and above the current assets and all other things.
Great. So last question on this expansion that you're undergoing. Can you give us a sense of where we are in that expansion phase? Have the equipments been ordered? Have they arrived? Are they customized? Are they off the shelf? I know the facility has been bought. The square area has been bought earlier in the year. How are you thinking about employee hire? When will that begin? Will there be a drag? Do you already have contracts in place to start filling up this new facility? A little bit of flavor on that, please.
Surely, why not? So you know better about that. Yes, premises were acquired about 6 to 8 months before, in fact. And now electrical work, firefighting equipment, everything has been installed, and remaining will get installed by the end of mid of November itself.
Right.
So infrastructure, boundaries, and everything has been developed as far as the infra is concerned. As far as the machineries are concerned, we have already installed one machine for the battery recycling, and other machines are in the pipeline to come in by January mid. So installment of that will also happen. And gradual utilization of all this equipment will also be happening. And that is where I am very confident that we will achieve more than 60% of our present capacity of 7,200. And as soon as we achieve 60-70% in the present premise, we will have a utilization of this premise also from March, April onwards itself. So we have to be ready, and we are confident with the kind of pipeline developing of the business. So let's hope for the good.
Excellent. And if I may slip in one more question. Can you give us a sense on the nature of contracts that you're currently signing with corporates, particularly with your expansion coming online? Are they multi-year contracts? Are they fixed price contracts on a per tonnage basis? Do they have escalation clauses? What is the flavor for these?
Escalation clause is not there, to be honest, but otherwise they are long-term, minimum 1 year, otherwise 3 years.
Right.
And there is no exclusive contract with the large players. The large producers doesn't favor that. They go for 2 or 3 recyclers to at least. And as far as the smaller producers are concerned, with the nominal quantity of 100 metric tons or so, they enter into exclusive contracts. But I'm not referring to those contracts. These are all keep coming, going and all. I'm talking about the very reputed 4-5, which we have recently signed and
right.
we have agreed.
But do the reputed 4-5 have a minimum guaranteed tonnage at least?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
That is exactly the reason of our confidence about why the capacity will be utilized to that extent.
Understood. Thank you very much, sir. All the very best.
So nice of you, Mr. Raj. Thank you for your time.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the last question for today. I now hand the conference over to Ms. Chandni Chande for closing comments.
Thank you everyone for joining the conference call of Eco Recycling Limited. If you have any queries, you can write to us at research@kirinadvisors.com or WhatsApp @kirinadvisors.com. Once again, thank you everyone for joining the conference.
Thank you, Mr. Akshay. Thank you, Chandni, for organizing this. And thank you so much, shareholders and the other stakeholders for coming online and asking questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you. On behalf of Kirin Advisors, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.
Thank you.